This college football picks week 4 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast. It's brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN.
Hey folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride. Go Hokies, man.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man. San Diego Superchargers. Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money Graham, with my partner in picks, Ryan, real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Free at last, Sean. Free at last. Although we're not home all the way. That piece of shit, Whip Babcock, still employed by the university, but we are making progress. Never thought I'd see the day that the Hokies would fire a coach so early that their entire team could go into the transfer portal.
Joining us on the line from the college football experience, Colby Dent, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Good day, mate. How are you?
All right, we're locked in. We're dialed in. I mean, I thought at least I would have a little bit of a sweat on my ODU money line, but that thing.
That's how you want to start.
God.
Well, you.
That's how you want to start.
Me and Sean had a great series of texts. When I got to 31-0, we thought it was best not to talk to you, even though 31-0 at your own house to these Monarchs. Woo.
Yeah, zesty cats.
Kramer was coming for the Monarchy too, the whole end of the show. But we had a very good slate. Kramer hit his Texas A&M money line dog. Coley hit the Vandy money line. I hit the ODU money line. We hit our 3-play parlay: LSU, Cal, and Arizona State. We went 5-2 in the college football picks contest. And our two losses were Georgia -3.5.
Disgusting.
Which I'm not going to say was the right side, but man, it got to OT and they had a chance. And then Wyoming +23, which it's 3-0 at halftime. Utah started moving the ball in the second half. What got really annoying was, so Utah is driving the ball down. Wyoming's not calling their timeouts. They basically conceded the game. Yep. They're happy to let it. And those bastards, those fucking couple of Utes, run it in, run up the score against Wyoming, and they get the late cover and barely covered 31-26. So that Wyoming and Georgia were the only two losses. Everything else looked pretty clean. I mean, LSU, that felt good. New Mexico won outright on the money line. That was the nice one. I had Friday night. That was the best part of my gambling weekend. I had New Mexico parlayed with Arizona, both on the money line. That was a nice 10-1 bink. So fun times in college football.
Let's not forget we hit our parlay too with LSU, Cal, and Arizona State.
Yes, and we even hit the underdog entry. So promo code SGPN over on Underdog Fantasy.
Real quick on the going from the Texas A&M win over Notre Dame. Can we quickly talk about the AP pool? I'm assuming Colby, you're hard at work. And by the way, shout out to Josh Pate, I think is his name. He's been doing the Lord's work as well, pointing out the fallacy in the polls, but. Notre Dame, what are we doing with Notre Dame here? Somehow, we have to have a rule that if you haven't won a game, you have to at least be on the side of like consideration, right? You have to win a game before you get to be.
Notre Dame's still in the top 25.
Colby, you want to talk to it?
0-2.
Not just the top 25.
Insane.
Yeah, well, like a lot of votes. Also, that one, like I forget everyone that voted, but that was. The crazy one was also South Carolina still in the top 10 and Vanderbilt not ranked. It's like,
looking at the latest,
saw them win 31-7.
Vanderbilt is 20th.
Yeah. Some huge wins.
20th. Notre Dame is 24th.
Okay.
Have not won a game.
At least they're ahead of Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's defense looked bad. Now maybe they figure it out, but how can you? This is why these rankings are so dumb, and the fact that they have any role in selecting.
Well, The problem
Anything is crazy.
is I don't like. I think we should reshape the way that the you should have to show that you watch the games. They have a bunch of beat writers, and obviously, if you go to the games, you can't be watching all the games. So that's just dumb logic, and you're biased to the teams that you're covering.
Which I understand. So, like you're kind of creating that electoral college where there might be some bias. There's always going to be some bias. So the way that you get rid of that is you spread it out across everyone. Now, where I have the issue is I do think that there should be an application process where you have to show why you are like you should get the honor of the vote. That the woman who I think she was an SC beat reporter, like she really made herself look like an asshole. Where she basically
but she also highlights why beat reporters shouldn't be voting because she was watching SC. She's locked into SC. She doesn't see any of these other teams.
But we have to have at least. Like when you fill out certain forms, it's like if you try to write fuck into a zip code field, it would say, well, that's not validated. So we should have some basic data validation in the AP poll that includes things like if you just lost to a team,
you can't be higher than
we have to. Did you really, get the little red asterisk? Did you mean to rank South Carolina over Vanderbilt?
Well, and what's crazy too is like Clemson has 2 losses in very close games, similar fashion as Notre Dame. They also played a third game and won a game.
Again, you have a win. You have a win.
You would assume though that Clemson would then be in the same vein as Notre Dame, where it's just not consistent. It's
Colby,
it's a terrible system.
Colby, I believe, called this, and or at least he's been bitching about. But we've come to a time where people are Notre Dame's a top 25 team because the 2 teams they lost to are really good.
Yeah.
They still haven't won a game. They lost to good teams, but they still haven't won a game. How can you be a top 25 if you haven't won a game?
And I see Kyle in the chat. Gun to your head, do you think Notre Dame is one of the best 25?
Sure. Eventually,
do.
Once they win games.
I do. And when they win some games on the field, I think they should be included.
This is people's problem. That's so many
the
people
issue with the list,
no disrespect to anyone who feels this way, but so many people have tiny brains where their opinion is the most important thing in their tiny brain.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard for someone to understand, yes, do I think this team has a top roster? And most likely will find their way into the top 25. Yes,
but let them do that.
Let them play the fucking games.
But when but so like, what's by not including them in the top 25? Who does it hurt? That's the thing. It's like keep them out, and then when they do start going on a run, which I do think he's a decent head coach overall. He's had a great tenure.
They did lose to 2 really good teams,
and they did lose to 2 really good teams. But I would still put the teams that won games ahead of them.
Well, that's the NFL, problem. Ryan, they do this for a reason.
The NFL has this figured out. They have standings and then playoffs based on how many games you win.
I will say maybe I think much like college football figured out the playoff. Remember when they invented the playoff a couple years ago? I do think at some point college football is going to figure hey guys, we're gonna do.
We got a crazy idea.
We're gonna do a couple mega conferences with divisions, and I think they're gonna figure that. And that neutral site games are bullshit. But the reason they do this is obviously so that when a team once you create a false slot for a team, now when another team loses to them, you'd be like, well, they're a good team, right? So right now. Notre Dame's Notre Dame's a top 25 team, but if Notre Dame keeps losing, at what point are they not a good team? And at what point, if you lose to them, that's not a good loss? It's very confusing.
And I would even push back of we think they're top 25. They're starting a freshman quarterback, and their defenses look like shit so far. So they could easily end up 7-5 based on what we've seen. We've seen,
I just think we have to value we have to value winning games as a criteria to being a good team. Is that can we all agree on that?
That's where I struggle with college and the rankings of
I'm completely fine if
I think that's fair to make people win games to be ranked higher.
And on the other side, I think it's very it's also fair that if you're an undefeated team in a bad conference, it's hard to it's hard to say a team that hasn't lost shouldn't be in the top 25. And so, but then is the punishment for losing to one of their conference, an obviously worse opponent, they drop further. It's just like it's just we have a bunch of idiots doing this. We have a bunch of idiots.
Reason why though. This is the reason why you need a large playoff. You need to cast a big enough net. You need to cast a big enough net where it oversees the corruption. You know what I mean? Like there's corruption within the sport. It's always been there.
And you see the way that
cast a big enough net, don't even get me started on the actual schedules they give the teams within the conferenes, which are clearly, favorite to.
Yeah, but we're not
we're,
like the idea that we're going to have parity and a uniform scheduling system and all this other bullshit seems very unlikely. The idea that we could have, I love that they're being transparent about the poll. In some ways, this is going to sort it out because I'm assuming that USC beat reporter is no longer going to want this heat, and maybe just says, "I don't want it. I don't want the vote."
What's the point?
Like, why? If universities took their fucking AP vote as seriously as they take their fucking mascot and the secrecy around their, no one knows about the fuck. Like, come on, this is an important. Like, we can fix this.
She learned a valuable lesson though about people in college sports. I'm pretty sure she's never.
The USC fan base is a little different than the people who got a hold of that clip.
Her naivete around I'm just gonna go out and basically say I don't really put a lot of effort into it. And everyone will leave me alone. Well, again,
that was her way to get people off her back.
We were having.
Listen, I don't have a process. Yeah. What did you
Clearly,
guys?
She doesn't know the sport well. All right. Clearly, she does not know the sport.
We were
but that's the heart of college sports is arguing about shit like this. Colby, you
at least have someone that wants to argue.
Yes. She was like, "Fine, you guys are right. Put them wherever you fill it out."
If the AP was smart, right? They're at the end of the day, they're an organization that wants clicks. If you vote on the AP pool, you're required a 60-second video justifying your rankings,
or at least 3 sentences. Colby,
30 seconds. Jesus, it's not that hard.
You said you had breaking news before we started the show. What's going on?
This was it. Right?
Diego Pavia's attorney is challenging the NCAA for next year, a 7th year of eligibility. Yes. Kramer, you still might get pissed on next year too. I know they're not on the schedule right now, but there's still a chance Virginia Tech to figure out a way to get pissed on again.
Is he not already in his 6th year of eligibility or 7th year?
6th year. Well, he won for this year.
I thought this was his 7th.
I think this is his 6th. He's suing for the opportunity to play
for 7th
next year. He's Van Wilder.
It's great.
If he was a running quarterback, and
he has my endorsement. By the way,
Pavia just continues to be listed as a dog and continues to figure out how to win these games. His intensity is awesome. Did you see the Theo Vaughn thing, Colby, who was a guy we knew back in the day, stand up wise? And Theo Vaughn had a bet with Pavia that if Pavia beat SC, Theo Vaughn was going to get a go out on a date with Pavia's mom.
All time laugh at me guy.
Who?
Theo Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
It's all time.
Very funny character. But yeah, Pavia continues.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
Kramer, do you have any? Who do you want to be the next Virginia Tech head coach? Because Coach Pry's out, didn't work out.
Well, Beyond didn't work out. That's how bad it was. I think. Well, so I did. I'm glad that the stories are resurfacing about how Shane Beamer basically, the Beamer family fucking hate Whit Babcock and how, more
from the start. You hired a guy named Whit.
No, I agree, and everything he gets hired.
You didn't see this coming.
Well, again, I wasn't too deep in the athletic director game back then, but when he got hired. One of his first big moves was let's make sure Frank Beamer ends his career. Let's get him out of here. You remember the controversy around that 2015. I think he basically, I think Frank was probably close to the end anyway, but Whit basically said, this is going to be your last season. And since then, since that year in 2015, nothing good has happened in the entire program. Guy's an ass clown. Now, I will say the fact that Coach Pry was fired by the university president and not the athletic director. That's certainly interesting, although confusing because the press conference today, athletic director was up there saying he was going to be part of the new coaching search. it does seem like you can't just fire the coach. It does seem like, Colby, based on my journalism, they are going to be hiring a football GM, which is an interesting positive step. And if you're asking me who I want the coach to be, I mean, South Carolina looks like dog shit. Shane Beamer maybe on his way out. They need to fire the athletic director for that to happen. The second option, if I'm looking at actual coaches that might be available, and I don't even know if he would be available, but this South Florida guy, I know almost nothing about him, but it seems like there are some connections, and he would be like the best hire of not a shit coach. And then obviously Michael Vick would be probably a bad hire, not the state of the program for him to jump into. And also, like, why not? Bud Foster's hanging around at the bar in Blacksburg. Like, have him come out and just start working on some defense.
Vic as the head coach with Bud Foster as the DC, and Vic is kind of just an awesome recruiter.
It would be a lot like Coach Prime. You'd have a lot of ex players as positional coaches. Like, here's what I would say, Cole, and I'm sure Colby saw this too. I was extremely shocked at how quickly the players turned on Coach Pride, like in the way of like, oh man, really want it to work out, but he's a bum. Uniformly, as if they all got the news and just everyone took to social media. So I strangely think there is former, like, of the bigger players that have come out of Virginia Tech, there is some backing here, because there's no way they're just raising this money otherwise. Like, there's been some secretive like money raise, and I think it's former athletes. Where else is it coming from?
That's a good question. I mean, you saw that presentation where they're like towards the back of the ACC in funding right now with their athletic department. Which is crazy because you would think they would have more. I know your check stop coming in there.
Well, how
much were you giving them?
There was even some controversy there, Cole, because based on the report, like in some ways, like Virginia Tech is funded just fine. Like, I think I saw one report that their funding per player was above average for the ACC, and so I think the athletic director is like a lot. I think some of that came from Witt, and I think it's a last ditch effort to try to save his job. And I think at the end of the day, when you're secretly raising money to fire a coach, I think there's maybe, because the AD has like $1.25 million for like 4 more years. There was some talk of like, how do you have a buyout on a fucking AD? But it does sound like, and then there's a lot of talk of this former assistant AD of Witt in his first year, who was apparently like important. She's running Arizona maybe right now. I could be wrong about that, but anyway,
you know who they should hire?
Who's that?
The guy that's whooped their ass the past 2 years. Vanderbilt's offensive coordinator, who was at New Mexico State, Tim Beck.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry Kill. I might even come with him. Jerry Kill was part of the Hokie staff for 1 year, I think, under maybe Fuente. Just for one quick year, he was like an advisor or something. But dude,
well, the one thing worth noting there is that Vanderbilt also would be an interesting program to learn from, because they were really the first program to bring in a GM and start approaching college football with an NFL approach.
And they're a legit contender right now in the SEC. And you look at what Tim.
The difference is they have infinite money, I guess.
But Tim Beck was a head coach for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas, right? And they won a national championship. He went 82-35 there. He was with that program as a coach from 87 until 2019. So like, you see this happening. Look at Lance Leipold. He was a guy from D3 Wisconsin Whitewater. If you can win on that level, that shit's gonna work on this level. You saw with Jason Eck this Friday against UCLA. He comes in from the FCS ranks. He was very successful in the FCS, and boom, he's got New Mexico contending in year 1.
Yeah, I definitely would favor the last 2 failures have been recruiters. Don't bring me a recruiter. Bring me a fucking coach. Like that, I agree. Like, give me someone who has experience winning, transforming a program and winning. That's what the last 2 guys didn't have. They had the ability to bring in the big talent, and they had, big game hunters or whatever, but who gives a shit if you can't coach football?
Let's get to some games, right? Got a nice slate.
I I wasn't going to bring this up on the air, but I did get a DM that said basically, love the conversations you and Colby have on the college football episode. Why does Sean hate football so much?
Why hate football?
What was Sean's take on that? What happened?
What have I said that I hate football?
Just he didn't like how he didn't like how you interrupt me and Colby in the middle of our deep conversation.
Oh, we could do 2 hours on the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and who the Virginia.
Let's go.
I this is a national show, correct?
All right.
Picking games.
If you want to hear,
what am I missing?
If you finally want, all right,
you and Colby can have your own
at
show.
Kramer Centric. Or actually, don't DM Colby. He doesn't look at DMs. DM at Kramer Centric if you would finally like to see the launch of more questions than answers. And if we get enough people, I'll consider starting. And like if you want to talk about a long form show.
Oh yeah. You and Colby.
No restrictions, Colby. No restrictions.
Animal battles, all different.
Here's what I was
stuff.
thinking. To be realistic, it's like it starts as a once a month podcast where we drop something that's like 3 to 5 hours.
Wait, in length?
Yeah, one episode a month, and it's 3 to 5 hours. We're gonna get into a topic. We're gonna talk about stuff.
I'm in.
Stadium history, maybe we start with that.
Come on.
All right. Let's Sean would like to get into the games, so we're going to get into the games. We're only 21 minutes into the show. What are you belly aching about over there? Thursday night, heading to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Rice and Charlotte are facing off. Let's pull up the slide. Colby, I don't know what you're waiting for. You make for these beautiful slides. I like the MC Escher nature of the Rice logo. YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. Rice laying 3.5 on the road, -140. Charlotte +120. 42.5 is the total. And let me bring up my Colby spread verification system.
I see it at 2.5 right now. Actually,
well, you wrote it. I feel like this is a bit every week where Colby
writes and then corrects himself on the spreads.
Puts in the wrong number. So we'll go with 2.5.
I put these numbers in from the fucking DMV today, dude. It was a horrible experience.
All right. I'm updating the number to 2.5. And also, like, the audience does want to see the spreads on the slides. I'm not sure why Colby keeps withholding. I even went and watched the college experience last week, Sean. Turns out the spreads weren't on the slides there either.
Oh,
so
wow.
Lies were told. Lies were told.
What are you talking about?
Whatever
you talk about the weekday show. The weekday show. Okay.
Maybe it was the weekday.
But the one
show.
with the our Powerball
He's
show.
Stammering.
Our national show.
Yeah, your national show. All right, so
has the lines in it.
And reminder, because obviously Charlotte trying to misrepresent the truth with their logo that Colby selected as. This does not look like a man who almost failed at a university. It looks like someone who was trying to find gold. Charlotte, of course, not named after the gold rush of 1849, but named after the year 1949 when the university almost went under. Colby, are we taking Charlotte as a home dog here?
I was watching a great road rage video 2 days ago of someone getting pissed off. They get out of their car and they threw a gigantic axe like that, like he has right there. A what's that called?
Pickaxe.
Pickaxe.
Yeah, pickaxe. Yeah. And it went through the person's windshield. It didn't hurt the person, but just what a great weapon to drive around with for some road rage. No, look, Scotty Abel is Rice's head coach, guys, and they're the most fascinating team in college football. And he came from Davidson University right there in Charlotte. So this is a homecoming for him and some of those players that he brought over. So I'm going to lay it with the Owls, laying that 2.5. Charlotte's quarterback play has been fucking horrible this year. I might be at this game, by the way.
Who is stopping the triple option? This is Ryan. Reminder: Rice does run the triple option, so Colby has a sweet spot for him. But Rice went on the road and got a 14-12 win against the Cajuns. I think the Cajuns are better than the CLTs. Now I'm always a little scared of going against a home dog on a Thursday night, but I'm with you, Colby. I mean, Charlotte didn't look horrible against UNC. They're averaging 243 yards per game on the ground. Their rush defense is okay. So yeah, I'll take Rice. Kramer, what are you doing?
Oh yeah. I about to say you said Charlotte. I was like, I'm taking Rice, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Did I? Yeah, Rice. Yeah. Rice averages 243 yards per game.
The bet splits would suggest that the majority of folks like you and Colby are on Rice.
Oh, that's TMZ guys.
And one fun thing.
Short week to prepare for the triple option. This is a smash spot for Rice.
Well, my concern is that the Circa has taken almost only money on Charlotte. So
it's all those squares betting early.
You think so?
I don't know.
You think the square?
Who? How do I know who's betting Rice Charlotte on a Monday?
I'm assuming it's not a square. We can agree with that, but yeah, the reason you take Charlotte is to be a contrarian. Because here's the confusing part. Per the data I'm looking at, Rice opens -4.5, gets all the action down to 2.5. Colby, is there an injury we don't know about? What's going on?
That's why you run the option, is that it's injury proof. You just put in the plug in the next guy.
I'll join you, but I would say my gambling instincts say that this is one that we're going to say fixed job.
It's going to be interesting. I see Kyle there. Shout out to Kyle. He's talking Tim Albin. Tim Albin was at Nebraska way back in the day, so he, if anyone, might know how to stop this thing. But it's been a while since he's gone up against an option team. So,
this one I would just circle. This one feels like the danger game of the week. I tend to want to disagree with you guys just to disagree, but I'll ride with. We'll let the Discord have Charlotte. And that fake ass logo, Iowa, Friday night now.
Is that Jack Black? Right.
Oh man, what was I watching with where they had like the highest paid black actors in Hollywood, and it included Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Oh, nice.
And it was like that's an all time internet wins situation. Iowa heads to Piscataway, New Jersey, to take on Rutgers Friday night, 5 p.m. Sean, this is one we'll be betting on out at the Circa. Which shout out to the Circa for allowing us to bet while we work. It's really a nice.
It is a fun perk.
There's nothing like sweating bets while you work. Iowa laying 2.5, -140 on the money line. Rutgers +120. 45.5 is the total. Let's see. Did Colby give us the right number on this one? Looks like it has not moved. I mean, another one where the road team's getting all the money. So
yeah, what are you doing here? I mean, in my head, I'm like, oh, Shiano is a home dog Friday night. This is a smash spot for Rutgers. But you look at his record since he came back. He's only 3-11 ATS as a home dog. He's actually been way better as a road dog. Meanwhile, Iowa as a road favorite, 28-19-1. But how many of those road favorite spots were on the East Coast in Piscataway on a short week? The situation spot's tough. Iowa historically owns Rutgers 4-0.
Historical rivalry here in the Big Ten.
I kind of just want to take Rutgers at home in Piscataway, especially if Kramer's saying people are pounding Iowa. What are you doing, Colby?
No, it's a simple play. Rutgers isn't going to score. They've played Kirk Ferentz 4 times since 2016, and they have 17 points. Last time they played, they lost 22-0. There was a 30-0 in there. They're not going to score on this defense much. And look, Rutgers has been scoring a lot this year. 34 against Ohio, 45 against Miami, Ohio, 60 against Mike Vick. I don't trust the Greek pellet gun against an Iowa defense. So you give me the Hawkeyes. I'll lay that number.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa -2.5. Colby sold me, but I'm a little nervous. A little nervous about this spot.
It's another danger spot, but man, we've watched stretch of this Rutgers team and they suck. I mean, I kind of was watching a little bit because they played Norfolk State, and it's like, man, I don't know what to think about this Rutgers team, but I don't think you can bet on them against real football teams this year. It's gonna be difficult. Need more points. And shout out to the grease trucks. I was just doing a little history lesson, but back when we were younger, Sean, Rutgers had an all-time eating situation with a bunch of roach coaches, where you could get like a fat bitch. If you're familiar with Fat Sal's basically ripped off the grease trucks.
Overrated.
Well, it's a complete copy. Like I think they even have a sandwich called the Fat Bitch, which was the kind of place you put chicken fingers or fries in a sandwich. Very good.
Fat Sal's got a lot of hype, and didn't really deliver. Have you, Sean? Have you had Fat Sal's?
Yeah, like twice. I mean, it's good, but it's to Kramer's point, and to your point, like that kind of stuff is
It's a
better from a
novelty.
grease truck than
Also,
like an actual restaurant you go to.
you were in college drunk. It was the best drunk food.
That makes sense there. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
I'm not going out for like 2,000 calorie sandwiches a lot.
so after I finished my time going up there in 2005, they actually they received some complaints that the sandwiches named Fat Balls, Fat Bitch, and Fat Filipino were all offensive. So they had to change the name.
I mean, Fat Balls isn't offensive, maybe not appetizing, but not offensive.
The Fat Daryl. The Fat Daryl had 1,700 calories and 78 grams of fat. So you got to be a college kid. It's one of those. Anyway, yeah. Moving along. Little Piscataway, New Jersey history lesson. Tulsa, Oklahoma State. My God. Gundy maybe not too far behind Coach Pry in terms of early exit on the season.
Oh, come on.
4:30. Are we going in a time machine, Colby? Did you? So we'll talk about this, even though it happens first. 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Oklahoma State at home in what has to be a must win. Minus 13.5 against Tulsa. Minus 550 on the money line. Tulsa plus 380. 54.5 is the total. Is this essentially the Virginia Tech Old Dominion game just happening in Stillwater?
Well, I mean, look, Gundy's had his problem. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities because Tulsa has played them really tough most years they've played. But what Haas Henny, my boy Haas Henny,
Is he back?
He's still out. And the starting quarterback of Tulsa is questionable, and Kirk Francis. I still think Tulsa in the points will be the play, even if he doesn't play. Now, if he plays, you can get great value at this, but because I think they're live on the money line if Kirk Francis plays. But give me look. You saw him after losing 69-3, taking like selfies. Did you see that video?
That was pretty funny.
With fans, he was taking pictures with fans. I mean, it does feel like a retirement tour. Like this is.
Yeah.
Like but he might already know that this is his last year, and he's just gonna finish it out, and the program's gonna restart. I will say this: I was doing some inventory of digital bets.
Yes.
Yesterday, and I get to this one, and I'm like, who the fuck is Haas Henny? why do I have a Haas Henny ticket, Colby? And then I remembered,
What was it to lead the Big 12 in passing yards?
Passing. Yeah.
I can pull it up, but it was a passing yards leader, Big 12.
So we're not a little worried about Tulsa. They just got their ass kicked by Navy. Now they're on a short week on the road. Oklahoma State coming off a bye. Complete kitchen sink game for them under the lights.
That's great angle.
That's my case for Oklahoma State.
A great handicap of the situation.
Thank you.
But
I just think first off, I really like Tulsa's head coach. I think they've been better. I know they're 1-2, but they look better than I thought they would be in year one already. But what Zion Booker, their wideout, is a beast. And Oklahoma State, remember Gundy basically went and got a D2 team. Like he brought in now that might work out in his favor, but he brought in transfers that I didn't know. Like a lot, right? And I was like, "Who the fuck?" He's grabbing from Pittsburgh State or something, where you're just like, "Wow, they're gonna go to the Big 12 and play." So, Jason Eck at New Mexico brought in an all-star team from the FCS. Gundy was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna bring in an all-star team from D2 ranks."
His numbers
I
are
have my questions.
Yeah, granted, small sample size, but the numbers are I wouldn't look at any sort of EPA metrics at all. I mean, if you just looked at EPA and even somewhat adjusted EPA, Tulsa should be much closer. This is a ridiculous number.
Yeah, I think with no Haas Henny, you got to take Tulsa. 13.5 is probably too much. Even as a guy who's hoping Oklahoma State figures it out. Kramer, what are you doing?
I've been doing some experimentation with having AI help me write some code. I was playing around some college stuff. So I was attempting to make spreads this week for the college games that we were going to pick. This game came out at 4 points. So it was actually the game that made me put the project to the side and get back to looking at the games because I was like, this looks really wrong, but I'm going to take Tulsa.
Yeah, Tulsa plus 13.5 consensus play.
And for the record, it made the other two games we were talking about -3. So.
Of course, head over to mybookie.ag to get in on all the college football action. Look at Diego Pavi up there. Just awesome to play him as a dog. And you can score 100% bet back bonus up to $500. T's and C's do apply on any of their bonuses. So make sure you read the fine print. But mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, easy deposit, lightning fast payouts with that sweet cryptocurrency. It's a great time to be heading over at mybookie.ag. They got the money bag, which is always fun. Just a random, you give them a couple bucks, they give you a random potential outcome. That is a true DGen only offering there. And of course, MyBookie means bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. Available in a bunch of locations. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Spend $5, get $50 in Novig coins when you use our promo code SGPN. Download the Novig app. I'm talking to you. Texas, California, Florida, Hawaii, Alaska. All great states, all available over on Novig. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN.
I was trying to pull up the money bag options. Maybe we
live money bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can do random football squares. You can also do game. So random squares are 75 to 1. Right. Then you can also take any game and do a winning margin. For plus 1275, which feels a little dangerous. And of course, they don't have the futures anymore. So maybe we don't do that. I think the futures is the best way to play it. All right, moving along. We're on Saturday now, heading to beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah for quick update on the Daughters current power rankings.
Yeah,
Utah's still
climbing the
still
charts.
#1. So we'll see. Could be a soon to be Utah fan. Great timing.
Couple of Utes.
Great timing on picking up a new football program that's spending tons of money. Utah laying 3.5. Well, I had this conversation with a fellow Hokie not too long ago where we both were there at the same relative time, and we both realized that it's never going to be that way again. I don't think there's any path to Virginia Tech ever getting back to a world where it's actual national prominence. And even then it was like, the closest thing they have to a national championship was Vic. And then of course the year where Auburn claimed the national championship and Virginia Tech played them in a bowl game. So does that count as a runner up then? Anyway, Utah laying 3.5, -155 on the money line. Texas Tech plus 3.5, plus 135. 58.5 is the total. I don't really know what to think about Texas Tech so far this year. And Utah, I thought you can look at what happened against Wyoming in two different ways. One is they took care of business in the end, and even got the crazy cover. And I still think this offensive line is have to bet on. Colby.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think one of the most interesting games, if not the most interesting game of the week, because they've never. So Texas Tech's never been to Salt Lake City. They've played before, but always in Lubbock. And they went out and bought the most expensive roster in the portal. We have no idea how good they are because they played Oregon State's kind of a mess, and then the other two are laughable opponents. And now they head to Salt Lake City, but most people have Texas Tech favored to preseason to win the Big 12 or play for the Big 12 championship. And Utah, I think, is going to have something to say about that. So like Utah with Dampier, it took them a while to get things going in Laramie, which is a little concerning, but it's in Laramie. I'm not going to read too much into that.
That's the weird spot. That's the look ahead spot. There was a million reasons why Utah could end up being flat there, and they still got the cover, which I think that's generally a positive. I think when you're grading a team like this.
Yeah, they kept missing field goals, super sloppy.
Everything was going wrong.
And it was why I should have been right with the Wyoming plus 23. But that being said, the fact that they were still able to cover that game by 25 points probably shows you how good this team is. And Kyle Whittingham at home, 67 and 50 ATS at home. To me, it's just that simple. Like, I get why you could be intrigued by what you've seen out of Texas Tech, but they haven't really played anyone. Utah, I think, is just a very good team. So I think they smash at home. I like this 3.5 a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I just think, you've seen, Texas Tech goes full air raid. Utah's played a lot of that in the Pac-12. And going into Rice Eccles, thinking and Baron Morton known to get injured when the wind blows. That's always
Morton's been dealing with been dealing with the sore knee. Now you're going on the road, elevation. It's and it's an early kick, which I guess could go either way. But I think Utah's gonna just run it down. I think Dampierre is gonna have a good game. I like Utah to roll here.
Strikes me as like looking at the matchups, especially if you're breaking down the EPA stuff. It strikes me as a matchup where. Like a team that's going to have success against Utah is going to be able to physically run the rock on them. I don't think that's going to be Texas Tech. And I think on the other side of the ball, like Texas Tech might be able to be a decent speed bump in the run game. But I think
that's going to be the most compelling thing is those tackles are playing like Romello Height was the number 1 defensive end. And then the kid David Bailey from Stanford. Romello Height was a baller at Georgia Tech last year. Bailey from Stanford, both them going up against NFL first-round draft picks. This is an elite game on the line of scrimmage. That specifically, though. Yeah. Utah on offense, Texas Tech on defense. Who will win that battle?
I was going to say it again, strictly looking at EPA, the way that you would want to attack Texas Tech seems to be in the passing game. So if it comes to that, yeah, very, very. I'm sure this will be one of those games where we'll get the tweet where it's like 28 NFL teams are in the building. Cause again, there's a lot of and a beautiful campus too. Let me say that, but yeah, I think you lay this one, also worth noting, Texas Tech is getting bet heavily. This
public dogs got fleas. Let's go. Utah. The Utes
been bet down to, and actually this I would recommend. Yeah, this is 3 everywhere. We got Colby again.
Should we make it 3?
Yeah, we should make it 3.
Okay, because I was seeing some people even saying 2.5.
There are some 2.5s out there, but circa's at 3 minus 110. So
okay,
and the next game I'm going to look at this other screen, so we can't get Colby anymore. SMU, and by the way, great logo work, Colby. SMU. Whoa, what's going on, Colby?
I got
SMU. Oh my goodness, SMU taking on TCU. Great logo matchup here. I don't even know. I didn't know Horned Frog had legs. Very confusing. If you're watching the visual here, my God, this is all over the place. This one's 7. TCU's laying it plus 230 on the money line, minus 270 for TCU. 64.5 is the total. Colby.
So, this is a great rivalry, and this is the last time they're playing.
The Iron Skillet. What are they going to do with the Skillet, Colby?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a bummer. I hope they figure this out, but it seems that TCU is blocking SMU from joining the Big 12. Then SMU paid their own money to get into the ACC, and they've had a lot of bad blood. You remember Sonny Dykes was SMU's head coach. TCU stole him. Last season, Sonny Dykes was ejected. You don't see that much in football, right? The head coach ejected from the game, and no. SMU ran it up on them. True C-note game here, but I think Sonny Dykes remembers that, and he was super pissed off. He was super pissed off last season. If you remember that scene, 6.5. I'm gonna lay it.
It's up to 7. It's up to 7, and yeah, I mean honestly, when the first thing I came across was looking at last year's game, and I vividly remember us talking about this game, and we had talked about how next year this is a smash spot.
Yeah,
so.
They ran that shit up on purpose, man. Like that the arms race going on in Texas right now is fucking hilarious.
TCU remembers. They're gonna put the smack down on SMU, and SMU. I mean, they only beat Missouri State on the road by 18. So I think this is a smash spot. For
New
TCU.
rule, Sean. We got to start putting more calendar reminders after college results that are going to result in insane revenge spots the next year. Because I feel like we have a lot of these conversations.
TCU by 1 million.
In the short portion of the show up top, where me and Colby speak in free form until you tell us to stop. That's when we highlight these types of spots. North Carolina. Now we're up to the 12:30 window on Saturday on the West Coast. We're in Orlando for Central Florida and North Carolina. Bill Belichick promised he would take Jordan to Disney World. I assume that's why they got this game on the schedule. I mean, I don't. Why else would you want to head to the swamps?
We need Belichick with the mouse ears on. Come on, give it to us, Belichick.
What was it? The beach picture. He caught a lot of He doesn't seem to care what anyone thinks.
No, he doesn't.
-6.5 for Central Florida. -240 on the money line. +205 for the Tar Heels. 47.5 is the total. Sean, you were very high on this North Carolina team going into the season. How would you want to update your take on them? How are we feeling about Bill and the boys down there? Lombardi.
You're twisting my words slightly. I said
I'm not twisting your words.
Yeah, I wasn't very high. I said it's considering the price, you should sprinkle them to win the conference because I think it's wide open, and I think Bill Belichick is a very good football head coach. So I think they have a ceiling case. Now, certainly they got their ass kicked at home against TCU, rebounded a little bit against Charlotte, although it looked okay. Then they did put it on Richmond, covered pretty.
I had Richmond +25 and like the unnecessary fourth quarter by Belichick.
Yeah,
They're just
he's
scoring a bunch of touchdowns. Yeah,
he knows where his bread's buttered. He's gonna run it up. I mean, I will take UNC plus the 6.5. I don't.
Well, just to be clear, Richmond is an FCS team, right? Colby?
Right.
They are.
Okay.
Well, they were laying 24.5.
It's a pretty
points.
short
FCS
number for an
playoff team, though. FCS playoff team.
It's a pretty short number for an FCS team to then need to run it up to make sure you get that cover. Talk about a C-note game.
I mean, do you like what you've seen out of UCF so far?
No.
They lost at home to Utah, which is understand. Or no, wait, sorry, I'm looking at last year. They lost. They barely beat Jackson State.
They should have Jacksonville State. They should have probably lost that game. Jacksonville State got hosed on a bullshit targeting where they scored a defensive touchdown. So that they looked awful that game. Then they beat A&T. A&T breaking in a new head coach. They beat them 68-7. I don't know what to deduce from that. I'll take Carolina the points too, though. I mean, the only thing that could get me is that environment. But Gio, have you driven to Gio Lopez lately? He's come along. He's gotten better each week. I mean,
think yeah. To me, do I love what I
like soccer moms?
Do I love what I see out of UNC? No, but UCF shouldn't be laying 7 points.
They just remember when Scott Frost kicked an onside kick to start the.
I know, but it's just like 11. Your kids go and play a team that's 2 years younger than you, and you kick their ass, and everyone's feeling good. Like, yeah, we're finally getting it together. And then you go play a regular.
If there was a massive spread and that factored in, sure.
I'm just saying the positives you guys are taking are.
What are the positives for UCF?
I would say like 99% of their advanced numbers are glowing compared to North Carolina. I think North Carolina down to down hasn't really played any good football yet this year.
Well, UCF played NCA&T and Jacksonville State at home.
Yeah, they haven't played anyone yet.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, against Jacksonville State, dude, it's not like they set the world on fire, dude. They were like 7 of 17 on 3rd and 4th downs. You know what I mean? Like against Jacksonville State, they're breaking in a new head coach too.
Yeah, no, I'm not. This North Carolina team's not good. I'll lay what
these teams are.
Yeah,
good.
I don't think either team is good.
That's fine. Let me just pull up. I mean, the sharps over at the Circa who bet on college football on Monday, all over UCF. I'll ride with them.
Fellow sharp, right?
I'll ride with them. Auburn, Oklahoma. Sorry, I'll ride with my fellow sharps. The good team in Oklahoma all of a sudden -6.5 here against Auburn, a team I don't know what to think about Auburn. 48's the total. Auburn +200. Colby, I mean, I like what I've seen from Oklahoma. Strangely, because I think in terms of a coaching staff, I didn't want to trust. They were them. And then I don't know what to think about Auburn.
Jackson Arnold revenge game, right, Colby?
Yeah, I'd say.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing though?
He's balled out so far this year, but Man, the loser will start to be on the hot seat here. High drama in this one. Besides Jackson Arnold, both coaches, I think, coaching for their jobs. Oklahoma does look better to me, and my thing is just like Oklahoma at that stadium historically is just a very hard team to beat. At
We just
Oklahoma
saw it.
Memorial Stadium.
We
So
just saw it.
yeah, well, Michigan was starting a brand new quarterback, Bryce Underwood. I thought that was a layup, but this one's a little tricky because
Auburn had
angle.
Yeah. Also, Auburn has. I mean, they've already kind of gone on the road, like tested themselves on the road this year.
Yeah, I mean, if I was making a case for Auburn, I'd point out them beating Baylor on the road, but
Slightly different environment,
right? But Mateer is. I'm not making a case for them. And Oklahoma, I think is, they looked really good against Michigan at home. Mateer he's in the mix here for the Heisman. I think you got to Oklahoma and lay the points.
I just think Oklahoma's defense is the best unit in this entire game, and you're at home with your
their defense is underrated.
Yeah.
Number 1 EPA per pass, number 1 third and fourth down success, early down success, number 12. They just, they're very, very good. Fun metric I've been looking at is available yards percentage. Basically, how much of the available yards are you allowing as a defense? They're number 3 in that metric with that only 22%. So I mean, you can argue they've had some advantageous spots, but I'll continue to do what I used to do and ride with chalky home favorites and
Boomer Sooner. Let's roll.
And Colby, when's the last time they've tipped over the wagon? Coming out a little too hot.
A couple years ago, right? It was last year, Lincoln Riley, I think maybe.
That's one of my.
They're good
favorites.
for like one wagon tip a year.
One of my
like.
favorites. It's just who saw that coming? Too much. These big schools and their programs, they really have that. They love the theater of college football. Next up, another 12:30 p.m. game here on the West Coast. We're heading to beautiful Oxford, Mississippi, the former home of Jackson Dart. Ole Miss taking on Tulane. Tulane catching 11.5 right now. 61 is the total. Plus 330 on the money line. Colby.
Fascinating game, old school rivalry. Tulane used to be in the SEC, so it's cool to see this back. But this game, I mean, how about Retzlaff? The guy gets one taste of pussy, all of a sudden he's balling out next time. It's the perfect thing for life, right? Like before he was all backed up. Finally, some broad there in Provo.
Well, and
cleaned the pipes.
In fairness, it seemed like maybe he had already discovered it. And
that's why I got in
he's
trouble.
like, oh wow, there's a lot more available pussy here in New Orleans. Let's.
But I guarantee you, if you do the work on that, if you investigate, he probably did it, and then he had the best game of his career at BYU, and then he never did it again, and that was when they suffered a little bit. He goes to Tulane. You know damn well he's doing everything down there. God knows what. Goddamn Mardi Gras going on. And then Ole Miss. How about Ole Miss? They have a quarterback battle, I think, because D2 transfer from Ferris State, Trinidad Chambliss, balled out last week in his first start. Yeah. But I'm all over the points. Ole Miss's defense looks fucking terrible. So I think Tulane's going to be able to move the ball. I mean, they'll stay within that number.
So, I mean, as someone, I was on Ole Miss last week and it was so annoying. They just kept letting that they were getting a great performance from the quarterback and then just kept letting them back in the game. Their defense could not get a stop to save their life. I thought Lane Kiffin would be looking out for his fellow gamblers. Didn't care about covering the number. And Retzlaff,
they would have lost at like Arkansas was driving and then they throw that little pop screen to the wide out and he fumbles.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas was going to score on that drive had that receiver not fumbled, and Ole Miss would have been down 1 with 35, 40 seconds left. So it would have been interesting, but I just can't trust that defense with that many points. I think Ole Miss probably still wins the game, but Summerall's, a defensive guy. I think Tulane's defense is better than Ole Miss's right now. So I think you grab those points.
Yeah, I'm on Tulane catching the 11.5. Kramer, what are you doing?
Correct. Also there, a little worried. It seems to, I guess I'm not worried, but it seems like everyone is betting. Like I'm not hearing too many people talking about Tulane. So people are in on this Ole Miss team. It is funny how Lane can trick people year to year. It's like every year they're surprised when they get absolutely kicked in the nuts with a Lane Kiffin no show. This one also kind of has a little bit of that. Michigan, another 12:30. Wow, the 12:30 slate on Sunday is pretty electric, Sean. It's going to be a nice pregame for the virtual Kentucky Derby later that afternoon. Michigan heads to Nebraska, heading to Lincoln, Nebraska, beautiful part of the country. I've only ever seen it from the window of my plane. Michigan laying 2.5. Interesting. -140 on the money line. 45.5 is the total. So Nebraska's a home dog here. Is that the story we're going with? That's crazy.
I mean, I'm just bothered by Michigan University and their. I spotted this thing. I knew this was coming.
What'd they do?
Well, Biff Poggi coached last week, and I had a feeling they. I predicted that. I predicted that they were going to give him a pep talk, saying, "Well, if you accept this interim head coaching position, you cannot wear the cutoffs. This is the University of Michigan here." And of course, the report came out after the game.
It's all covered up.
Fucking losers. Who do you think you are, Michigan? Too good for fucking Biff Poggi to be himself?
Set Poggi's puppies free.
They're the Yankees of college football. No facial hair.
I mean, seeing his like giant cutout, he led the nation in side boob, and you cover him up completely.
Ridiculous. And who the fuck do you think you are, Michigan? We know you had Connor Stallions in Central Michigan gear. We know Jim Harbaugh's buying burgers for all these damn recruits. All right. And to deprive Biff Poggi of who he is, it's bad juju. And that's why I'm taking Nebraska to win this. Sorry, Biff. You deserve better. Nebraska wins this outright. I just don't like young quarterbacks on the road, man. Even though Nebraska has played literally nobody since that Cincinnati game. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the home team.
Raiola has looked good. He's looked sharp. And to your point, Colby, I can't trust Underwood after the egg he laid in Stillwater.
But this is a little dangerous because Nebraska could be shitty.
Yeah,
like the Akron is so bad. I think they lost to Trent Dilfer and UAB. So I think that puts them as the worst team in the country.
Yeah, but that's another like look ahead spot.
But they play at Houston Christian too, the CVS, the team with the CVS in the stadium. Like that's a really bad FCS they're playing. So it's really hard to know how good Nebraska is at this point. But the home crowd, all the difference.
Well, and the concerning part is that they're dreadful. They're 126th in EPA per rush on defense, and that's exactly how Michigan would win this game without using the forward pass a ton. Now I'm with you. I just think the scene is going to be very similar to that like sea of red that we saw in Oklahoma. Nebraska very much going to show out for this, and I'm willing to give Matt Rule a chance to show me that he can beat a team that's very one dimensional. Like they're one dimensional, but they're one dimensional in the way that you have not been good this year yet. So stop the fucking run, win the game. I'll take Nebraska. Who, by the way, one of the few, as I was doing inventory, one of the teams who if Nebraska makes the playoff, let's fucking go.
Oh, let's fucking go. Nebraska plus 2.5. Let's get it.
All right. Next up, which by the way, we need to start inventorying. Colby just keeps adding more and more games to the list, and we're off to the 3 p.m. window now in Lawrence.
Just a small amount.
Lawrence, Kansas for West Virginia and Kansas. Kansas laying 13.5 here at home. -600 on the money line. West Virginia plus 400. 55.5 is the total. I have 2 questions here. One, Jalen Daniels still on the Heisman trajectory, I assume, Colby. And 2, has Mac officially gone back to college?
Yeah, Mac is last time he was supposed to be in Morgantown for like 48 hours. He's been there for like 6 days.
He's got a roommate. He's been
as
there.
Someone who has, I mean, I assume I don't want to speak out of turn here, but this strikes me as he had a really good time, maybe with a lady, and he's extended his stay a couple nights.
How many times do you think that lady has heard this song?
He's like,
there is something.
He went to Rich Rod's post game show at some bar. There's a listener in the chat said he met Mac there. I mean, it's like it's their Super Bowl, right? They beat Pitt. Pitt
Dude,
ate
and
shit.
the way they beat Pitt, that game was ridiculous.
Should
That
not
game
have
was,
beat Pitt.
It's a wild ass game.
I'll have you know that I shit you not. Now that he had told me that he put like $100 in a jukebox at a bar he was at, playing the same song for the entire time. So I'm sure a lot of progress is being made in Morgantown. Guys, we got to smash Kansas here. They're gonna win by 1,000, right?
Yep.
Mac was trying to bring up some like trends of them after the backyard brawl, but in particular, this backyard brawl, the way they won. Now you're going on the road, new stadium against Kansas. Jalen Daniels has been playing pretty good.
Not eliminated from the Heisman yet, right?
No. And after
That's
this game, where dude, West Virginia, the players. I know that rivalry. There's no fucking way they're focused on Kansas right now. They just beat Pitt, and the way they beat Pitt, coming from behind. Rich Rod got him. I mean, this was a huge game for Rich Rod. He was like tearing up in the like this. This is a smash spot from Kansas, man.
Honestly, isn't the fact that isn't the handicap that Mac is still in Morgantown?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the hangover? Like Mac is still there.
Yeah.
I think if Mac had left after 48 hours, we could maybe talk about backing this West Virginia team. But yeah, no, we're on Jalen Daniels.
Yes. Let's go Kansas. Come on.
Discord getting loaded up with a lot. This can't be right. We've essentially agreed on all the games we've talked about so far, with the exception of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Something strange is happening. It could be just I'm floating on cloud 9 with Coach Pry with 2 in the back of his head. South Carolina. Some Virginia Tech beat reporter now is going to reach out to me saying I shouldn't be mean. I got blocked by another Virginia Tech news source.
Oh really? Wow, Ryan.
Just for quote tweeting everything with hashtag fire Pry. Block and move on. South Carolina taking on Missouri, and talk about a situation where I wouldn't mind if I don't know how I feel about the Shane Beamer experience, but at this point it feels like it would be the best option for Virginia Tech. So I think I'm just going to be rooting against South Carolina for the rest of the season, because it does sound like they're going to get rid of him if he has a shitty year. South Carolina is catching 12 and let me verify this number here, because
I see 11.5 right now.
Yeah, I see some 12.5s, but not at a reliable source. So let me get back to where I'm good shit. Yeah. 12. So Missouri laying 12, South Carolina plus 335 on the money line. 47.5 is the total. I mean, this is a big number for Missouri to be laying, but also, I don't know. I'm officially done with the South Carolina thing after last week.
Well, I think what the question is, Lenore Sellers is questionable with that concussion. So
how can he play? I don't know. I don't track college concussions, but in the NFL, early in the season, you're missing a week if you're a quarterback.
I think the case though, isn't this the ultimate buy low spot for South Carolina? They just got pissed on at home. Now they got to go on the road to Missouri. Isn't this?
It's a tough road spot though.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're getting historically points.
I mean, before last year, Missouri had won like 5 or 6 in a row. Yeah, I mean, I'll take the points. You kind of need to know if Sellers is playing though. Like, if he's not playing, there's a big drop off there. But right now, I'll give you the points. This is Benedict potential though.
Ooh, I like this. The Benedict game of the week.
I'll take South Carolina in the points, 11.5 off the bounce back spot, and maybe Sellers needs a game off. I just don't think the South Carolina team is that bad. I think people continue to discredit what Vandy's doing, so I'll take South Carolina in the points. Kramer, what are you doing?
This number means he's out though, right, Colby?
I think you're playing.
Probably.
Well, I mean, what's this? What should this number? If he's playing, it's like Missouri by like a touchdown.
8.5. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. So probably.
So how many points
right.
is he worth? Like, what's your take? I mean, he's one of these guys that there's a lot of hype around him. He hasn't really lived up to it at all. So maybe he's overvalued on the number, and it is a good point to take the points. All right, I guess I'll take the points. Just talked myself into it. hilarious if you look at the list of like the NFL top guys to watch at the start of the season.
Kramer, you're on South Carolina in the points. Surprising.
Well, I talked myself into it that if Sellers has been dog shit, then it's likely he's overrated, meaning that the movement in the number with him out is going to be too much.
Classic Sharp 101.
Also, you get that team gets up for one game, maybe they try a little bit harder. Next up, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Colby crowbarring in bullshit ECU talk. I assume that's why we're talking about BYU East Carolina here. ECU catching 7 points at home right now. 50 is the total, plus 215 on the money line for your Pirates, Colby. This is a real clash of ideals and ethics. Colby, tell me why you're going to take ECU at home here.
Well, they lead the all-time series against BYU. They came to Greenville one time in their existence, and they got beat down 33-17 with Kalani Sitake. He brought it up at Big 12 Media Day, saying, "Yeah, you know, that's a tough place to play." You're goddamn right, it is, buddy. And now there's speculation that Sitake could be doing the UCLA job. But let's not forget ECU in 2022. We were in Vegas for this, guys, at the win when ECU went into Provo and won 27-24. So this is just
revenge. Great
smash
point.
spot for these Pirates, because one thing you gotta remember is
because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
In the Pirates. And the ECU. We believe. BYU hasn't really played anyone. They beat up Portland State, beat up Stanford. Now
Stanford's
a bye week.
not no one.
That's true. That was
Big bodied mother. I mean,
one by 24.
They're 1-0 in the ACC. They beat Boston College.
That is true.
Also, ECU lost to the Pussy Pack. Hasn't really played anyone outside of that.
Coastal Carolina went down to their house, beat the piss out of that baseball program, right?
Well, exactly. They suck this year. They they suck. They got housed by UVA 48-7. Colby. I think it's safe to say that Coastal's not having this is an off year.
I think it's safe to say that G Vegas is one of the harder places to go in and win. Your Hokies, there's a reason why you stopped scheduling us, buddy.
See,
so
when you fail to have a good argument on the game, you attack the person.
There's a lot much better. A freshman quarterback on the road, first ever road start.
Yeah, that's all you need. And there's a lot of temptation in Greenville, North Carolina. So maybe these Provo boys fall victim to a little temptation. But Colby nailed it. It's a freshman quarterback on the road. ECU +7. Kramer, what are you doing?
Lay it. BYU's off the bye. Come on, you're being.
That is a good angle.
Yeah, it's a great angle. Thank you, Sean. 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Pullman, trying to. This is one university I'm trying to drag my daughter. She has no interest in. It's nowhere near the beach.
Really?
Doesn't want to check out.
Pullman seems fun.
Interested in maybe sailgating at UW, but not going out.
I guess the weather. Maybe.
Apple Farms of Pullman. I told her I was like, it's really close to this awesome town, Moscow. There's farm animals everywhere. Washington State, the Apple Cup. Colby, remind me, why are we not playing this at the end of the year? Washington laying 20.5 points. Minus 1600 on the money line. Washington State +800. 53.5 is the total. Why is this being played now? And why are we not just going to take the points?
Greed. All right. Greed, corruption, and everything that's infecting college football. But look, it gets worse next year. Week 1 next year.
What?
Yeah. Week 1 in the Apple Cup next year. Wazoo beat them. Year 1, removed from the Pac-12 or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or I guess they were still in the Pac-12, but it was the Pac-2. But yeah, they just got destroyed at North Texas. This is too many fucking points for a rivalry game. yeah, please.
I mean, I guess your case is Washington lost them last year, and maybe they put it on Washington State and the Cougs in Pullman to embarrass them, but. You're a home dog here for Washington State. This is your Super Bowl. This is the most important game you'll have for the entire season. And yeah, look at the past results: 24-19, 24-21, even 51-33. All those numbers would have covered the 20.5. Wazoo hangs around. This is how can you give him 20.5?
When
They got to stop fucking around and start Zeva Ekos, the guy that, like, to me, he's way better than their other quarterbacks. They're fucking around by
So the last
bouncing
time
around.
the last time they cover this number would have been in 2017 in a game played in Seattle. It's a crazy number. And now that you're talking about it, that game last year with Mateer was awesome. All right.
Kramer, you're on Wazoo plus 20.5.
That's how I started the whole thing. Why are we not? What's the point of talking about this game? This is a ridiculous.
Even though you had that pussy burger, remember the guy said you were eating a pussy burger
in Moscow. I will
have a chickpea patty. What was more embarrassing, Colby, when we went out for burgers and it was like all these delicious meaty burgers, and then they had to like stop production to find a frozen in the back of the freezer some chickpea burger.
Half the staff didn't even know, and the one guy's like, "No, we got that. Look, let me go back in the freezer here. We got something."
I would say again, everyone learns from experience. I made some poor choices on the trip. I now
the coleslaw sandwich was insane.
Well,
we're in the press box.
I disagree.
They have one thing you can eat: pulled pork sandwiches, and they have coleslaw and buns. Kramer makes himself a sandwich with no pulled pork. It was two pieces of white bread with coleslaw in the middle, which is not healthy. Can I defend
myself here?
No,
the chickpea burger was a much more egregious crime. And here's why.
People eat chickpea burgers. No one has ever eaten a coleslaw sandwich.
But the getting the frozen burger when the scoops of meat looked very fresh was very stupid. Now, as a younger person growing up in New Jersey, I'm sure people can relate if they're from Jersey. The place you would hang out late night or after the shit you did was the diner. And the diners in New Jersey, at least the one we would go to, no matter what you ordered, you got a little Dixie cup of coleslaw. And so there would be times where I wasn't about to order any sort of full food, but I would definitely collect up a bunch of the coleslaw Dixie cups and just eat coleslaw. So
just eating coleslaw is fine, but putting coleslaw in between on a bun is
not the only time in my life I've had a coleslaw sandwich.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff on it sometimes.
Well, then it's not a coleslaw sandwich.
Well, if I add something to my coleslaw sandwich,
no. It is a coleslaw sandwich. What was crazy about it was on a hamburger bun with coleslaw in the middle. That's insane.
I was avoiding the swine.
I was in the press box next to former Houston Oilers cornerback Torrey Hunter, and he told me, he was like, "Dude, that soy boy pussy, come on, you got to get that California guy out of here." And I think that's why his daughter's not making that trip to Pullman. I think he's a marked man in Pullman there at the Coug.
I was not the one that got reprimanded in that press box. You two.
Well, we didn't get. I put a nice little bet on Wazoo and was cheering too loud. And they're like, "Yo, no, you can't cheer. You can't cheer. You can't."
Guys acting like real amateurs.
This is a neutral place here.
Meanwhile, I'm just quietly minding my own business, building a delicious coleslaw sandwich.
Why don't we build a delicious sorry, what did you want to add, Colby?
No. I was just gonna say the word got down to Spurrier. Remember we met Spurrier and he was calling him pussy boy, right? He was like, "Look at this pussy boy."
I will say,
Southern gentlemen don't cotton to no coleslaw sandwiches.
I will say the Friday night practice conversation with Mike Leach story that I will tell you in person if you meet me or hang out. Only one person has ever asked to be told the Colby Dant, Mike Leach with Steve Spurrier standing a stone's throw away.
Not everything's fit for the air. All right, let's go. Let's talk underdog fantasy. Of course, use the promo code SGPN. Toss us a bone. Toss yourself a bone. Play $5. Get $50 in bonus funds. Hit it last week, Colby. Can we keep the heater alive? What do you like for this week's underdog pick'em?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go straight to the passing. I'm trying to pull this up right now for the Rutgers quarterback, the pellet gun. Do they not have him? Right
nope,
now?
No. So what we have is
don't see smart. They're smart.
So the only weekday stuff we have is Rice, Charlotte, and then we have Syracuse, Clemson, Texas Tech, Utah, Auburn, Oklahoma, Michigan, Nebraska, Florida versus Miami, and ASU versus Baylor.
Let's go.
You want to do a Utah one?
I was about to say, what's Dampier's rushing number?
65.5.
Woo, that's bold though. I'll do it though.
What
I'll
about
do it,
just
'cause
a
that pass
what,
rush?
what about just a touchdown?
A rushing touchdown? It's at a half?
No,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
half rush. It's at even. It's like it's not
I got
juice
you,
either
I got you.
direction.
So Dampier to get in the end zone.
Yep.
Higher a half touchdown.
I like how they throw in the receiving touchdown just in case too. It's nice.
We could pair it with Mateer to get in the end zone. He's had 14 out of his last 15 games. He's had a rushing touchdown, but that one is a little discounted.
That's fine.
I got one for you though. Coy Eakin, the top wideout
Household
for
name?
Texas Tech. Top wideout for Texas Tech. 40.5 receiving yards. I think he'll achieve that.
Really?
Remember they run the air raid. I mean, look, the guy.
Yeah, dink and dunk.
The guy you got to remember when they played Pine Bluff and Kent, the starters were benched early, so he had 3 for 47 and 3 for 59 in those games. But against Oregon State, 6 for 139 and a touchdown. They're going to play the starters the whole game. He's going to smash this.
That's a great point.
So Dampier to get in the end zone, higher a touchdown, and Coy Eakin higher 40.5 receiving yards.
He's also found the end zone in every game. FYI.
Nice. $100 entry turns you $300. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. The Rhythm is gonna bet you with props. Whenever CJ says that on his show, the bottom line bombs, that gets stuck in my head. But yeah, of course, get going over on Rhythm, and now we have a special promo code SGPN25. Get you 25% off your first month over at Rhythm. You can build your own models, or you can just use Rhythm's pre-built stuff. Here we go. They let's see, what are some of the smart signals? We'll go to some of the. We didn't talk about this game. Rhythm loves Louisiana against Eastern Michigan. I like that on the money line there. They're predicting a 27-point win, 27.1 to 23.8. That's actually my model, courtesy of Rhythm. I build myself, and if you track and build winning picks over on Rhythm, you could win $1,000. That's right, track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. Download the Rhythm app today. Promo code SGPN25 get you 25% off your first month.
One of the things I like about the potential in that Louisiana game is we saw them. They got their ass kicked against Missouri. But they have a backup that came in that game. His name is Lunch Winfield. So hopefully Winfield gets on. If they start him, they're winning that thing for sure, Sean.
Let's go.
All right, great name. Getting me hungry. Rex Ryan needs a snack. Florida, Miami. We kind of talked about this game last week. Unfortunately, our worst nightmare came true, and Miami just steamrolled.
Miami's good.
South Florida again. It's just next year. Let's remember that. Let's try to get as much offensive line scouting as possible. It seems experience at quarterback and offensive line play is heavily correlated to the good teams versus the bad teams this year by a mile. Florida. Not sure what to think about them, but Miami very good. Miami's laying 7.5 at the circa. 51's the total, plus 230 for the Gators. We kind of speculated that this would be the spot to maybe be on the Gators last week. It's hard for me to want to pull that trigger now. Everyone is betting. Also worth noting, everyone is betting the Canes. I'm kind of I very rarely will take Miami, but man, I don't know what to do here. They just seem like such a better team, and he hasn't
having money against Miami. You just feel pretty dumb with the way they're protecting Carson Beck and the way he's looking good.
It's annoying. He's good.
Yeah, Kramer, you talked a lot of shit on him.
I did. Well, how
that
often
he was
do
dumb
you?
And
how often do you leave the best program in the country for money, and that works out for you?
Colby, do you think Lagway can do something here on the road at Miami? It just,
No.
it was just
shout out to the internet calling him DJ Lagalele.
That's very good. That's very good.
I
I think he got cut in the NFL. I don't think he's on a team now.
DJ
I can't believe he even got a tryout. What the fuck was that? Hey,
5-star. He's a 5-star.
What's going on here?
It's the same as college. If you're a 5-star at quarterback, they'll give you a sniff.
Oh God, I'm going to take Florida though, man.
Really?
This is
what's the case
game.
for Florida?
Because Cristobal, that when South Florida got ranked, that's why I took Miami last week. I was like, oh, Cristobal is normally on point for some of these big, you know, ranked games. It's this. They look at a sleepy Florida team, disappointment, 1-2, 5 interceptions by Lagalele last week against LSU. And one thing that I thought Florida did in that game, I thought they shut down LSU's offense pretty well. I think they can shut down this Miami offense some, and then maybe Lagalele doesn't throw 5 interceptions, and we cover the 7.5. Sprinkle the money line. Miami embarrassed them last year at the Swamp. Revenge.
Also, I mean, so you're good with Billy Napier?
No,
Yeah, I'm
not,
taking.
but I'm not good with Cristobal either.
This
game is
having success right now.
This game is scarier than it should be. I'm taking Miami laying the 7.5. I mean, when Colby has to say maybe he doesn't throw 5 interceptions, I'm sorry. Now you're going on the road,
but they still almost they lost by 10 to at LSU.
Yeah.
Throwing 5 interceptions.
I get it.
Their defense is very good.
Florida's defense is good, and I see people in the chat pointing out Miami hasn't played a defense like that. That's fair. Florida is going to get up for this game. All that being said, this Miami offensive line, Carson Beck just sits back there and just carves up defenses. This could be an ugly game. Not much of a totals guy, but I would be on the under here. I'll take Miami laying the 7.5.
All right, we discussed this ahead of time. The spot is very strong, and I do think the strength of the Gators is that D line. All right, or defensive front. So let's take the points. We don't like to get in business betting on Miami. It's just like the Cowboys, Sean.
All right, you're on Florida plus 7.5.
Oh, I mean, it's worth it. I feel like it's worth a gamble because I still think. What if the running game doesn't show up? Carson Beck turns back into a pumpkin. I mean, this is a guy that lost his Lamborghinis. He lost.
That happens to the best of us.
He lost his
Misplaced your Lamborghini.
Multiple Lamborghinis, and it turns out he just left the keys in them. I mean, all time young person.
Been there.
Really, with the Lamborghini or leaving your keys in your car. All right. Next up, another 4:30 kick here. So yeah, you're gonna want a second screen experience, a Run for the Roses, where me and Scott Bowser will be watching the virtual Kentucky Derby while, for some reason, college football happening at the same time. Arizona State taking on Baylor. Arizona State, nice win for us in the contest last week. Now they're on the road at Baylor, a team that I have no clue about, catching 2.5 points. 59.5 is the total, plus 112 on the money line.
This Baylor logo looks like a Rorschach test.
This is
almost
almost
like you see what you want to see inside that Baylor logo.
Yeah, double goatsy. You got ASU goatsy. Every team has a goatsy version, and Colby finds it.
I think your brain must just be programmed to seeing goatsy in places that it's not.
Oh, it's just anything that looks like a butthole is goatsy.
There you go. I
mean, the Baylor one is interesting.
See a tide turn.
Baylor is
one of those porns where you ask for the extra hair. Right? That's the
Baylor is a Baylor. What do we make of this Baylor team, Cole? Because
I don't.
They lost at home to Auburn. Then a crazy game. They win at SMU. Then Sanford and Son, they put it on them. But what do you like Baylor here? Arizona State, nice bounce back after the tough loss. Good idea playing it in the contest. But the -2.5 is a weird trap line. What are you doing, Colby?
I'm going to take the Sun Devils. I just think, both quarterbacks are pretty fire.
Yeah.
Sawyer Robertson's like lighting it up, but it's crazy because Aranda's a defensive guy, but I tend to trust Arizona State's defense a little bit more than Baylor. I think they're just a little more physical. So I know it's a tough environment, but I think Arizona State. Another thing is I think Leavitt, even though he's not putting up the numbers Robertson's putting up, I think he's actually the better quarterback. So I will lay it. I'm sorry, I will take the points. And but this is I think one of the harder games on the slate.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona State. I mean, certainly, they put it on Texas State, good bounce back spot. And I like Dillingham as a coach, as a dog, especially. That seems to be their sweet spot. When overall for the season, I was a little skeptical because it was like too much expectations, and they lose a bunch of guys to the pros. So I'll take Arizona State in the points.
Forks up.
Forks
this
up.
is a fanboy pick, right? We got the university that's done some very bad things.
Venezia's. Get out to Venezia's pizza.
Shout out to Venezia's. And if you're watching live, and even if you're listening, Wednesday morning, Wednesday, September 17th, we're dropping the latest SGP stories on Patreon, patreon.com/sports gambling podcast, where you can find out why Steffi Smalls chose to not go to Arizona State.
Yes,
So,
she went to Arizona instead of ASU.
Which, as someone who's a Forks Up guy, I don't quite get that.
No,
and great point. Arizona State experience going against Bears, Bear down /Wildcats. All right.
Kramer, you're on Arizona State.
Again, this is just a fan pick. Fuck Baylor. I've been every pick with Baylor. I'm wrong.
It is.
So I guess
They've been a tough team to figure out.
Maybe just fade me on the Baylor picks and take Baylor, like the Discord's doing. All right, so we got 2 games to go. Shout out to again. Look at this, right to an Illinois goatsy logo, where Illinois top 10 team. Sean, some people have a problem with that. They're taking on Mr. A fine Italian American Kurt Signetti in Indiana, who just absolutely skull fucked Indiana State last week. That felt a little bit mean the way that they ran it up there. Indiana laying 5.5 at home in this one. 52 is the total, +175 for the Illini. I'm very torn here, very torn on what to do, because I got very excited about Illinois in the preseason and their physicality.
Yeah,
Joe Judge coaching tree, all that jazz. But we have a fine Italian American leading Indiana here, and whenever I pick against Indiana, people in the mentions reach out to say mean things to me. Also, those same people seem to get offended when I talk about them as a flyover state, and now bragging about Indiana Jones. So people from Indiana just not happy with me right now. Maybe that just settles my pick for me. Colby, what side are you on?
I'm on the Illini here.
Perfect.
Indiana, I think Signetti, obviously he's great in those fuck you matchups against a bunch of teams no one's ever heard of, but against decent competition, I think that, and another thing is Illinois returns so much production. They're the veteran team here. I think they have the better quarterback. And Bielema, I just think is built for this. Like, how does Signetti? How does he normally beat these other teams within the Big Ten, at least in his short tenure there? But going back to JMU, they try to be physical, establish the line of scrimmage. Bielema's a fucking offensive line, defensive line guy. He builds up that thing first. So I think the Illini are going to be able to bang with them, and that's just too big of a number. Maybe Indiana gets out with a field goal win or something.
Should be 3, right?
It should be like 3.5. This Illinois team's not going to go down without a fight. Bielema as a dog is a great trend. So I'm
think
with
if it's a close game, it favors the Illini even more because of how much they're much more of a veteran team than Indiana is. So I think that favors the Illini to potentially win this on the money line.
Indiana is a cupcake team per enter name here on the YouTube chat. I like that. Give me Bielema.
Everyone on Illinois +5.5 here.
Another team that would be excellent if they made the playoff. And it seems like they're in a good position. I mean, the ridiculousness of the end of the season this year is going to be glorious. With the way that we're flexing losses on each other, it's going to be out of control. Last game, late night on the West Coast, where I would love to understand the TV executive strategy here, because it does seem like I like it from someone who lives out here. I like getting good marquee matchups later at night for us. But it also seems like it is just going to be debilitating to anyone who votes in the polls who clearly doesn't have time to watch these games when they're happening.
Or Michigan State fans.
Oh yeah, or Michigan
starts
State
at 11:00 local time.
That's a fair point as well. It just seems like you can find a way to get the games on later, but be a little bit aware of who's playing. And as if Fox, I assume this one will be on Fox, ESPN, whatever. They own the conference and they want the conference to be successful. I don't understand the strategy of how this is good for the health of the conference in general. Because if you ask the average college football junkie what's their take on USC, they haven't watched them play a game yet. I think, and they're not going to watch this one. And so as someone who has USC tickets, I don't like that at all. They're laying 17.5 here against Michigan State. 55.5 is the total. Michigan State coming in at a whopping plus 550 on the money line. And yeah, this is one of those situations where, we always have the East Coast body clock. We don't often talk about the West Coast body clock. In some ways, if I think about myself, what's harder to slap yourself out of it, when it's too late and you're tired, or when it's a little early in the morning? To me, the body clock stuff for the early morning is easier to overcome. The energy of the game is going to help fix that for you. Maybe you start a little slow, but being tired, like the late night for the East Coast too, like I could certainly find an argument there. Even though they're college kids, I still think it's a late ass kick for them to be going. So Colby, I'm gonna have to be talked off of USC here. Obviously, I have a national championship ticket on them, very high on the Trojans this year. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Jonathan Smith grew up in Pasadena, so there's that.
So he's
the
pussy.
Head coach of Michigan State. So,
some local fans.
Yeah. Might have some local fans there at the Coliseum, and then a lot of the roster transferred over from Morgan State, and that normally means they're probably from California. I'm trying to get there with them. USC's defenses look pretty fucking good. Is it a distraction that D'Anton Lynn is being rumored to be the next UCLA head coach, this USC's defensive coordinator? That could be the only thing I think that could sell me on maybe Jonathan Smith can get in there and get the cover. But do you think that's a legit distraction?
No, I don't think so. They're going to smash, especially this will feel like an 11 o'clock game for the Michigan State kids. They're going to get their ass kicked. USC has looked pretty strong. I mean, Michigan State barely beat BC, and BC doesn't look that good right now.
Is that a good? I know the obvious answer is yes. UCLA is a good job, but wouldn't you rather finish out the season and have some other choices to evaluate? I don't. I mean, I guess like staying in LA, all that good jazz, but like. Yeah, I mean, I do think USC. I think it is a distraction. I think it could be a distraction because college is crazy, and if he actually is considering it, the chances of him just walking away, taking the job to get a start on recruiting, who knows at this point, So it could it be a distraction? Absolutely. I'm gonna.
I still think we lay it though. I still think like Michigan. You go into the West Coast. That's a real these advantages. Look at last season. For the most part, all of them got fucked up when they went west, and vice versa.
Oh, 100%. We were playing the AC, especially in college basketball. We were playing like the ACs. The first leg of the back to back in on the West Coast was just a no brainer. And yeah, I think there's a smaller sample size, but I would imagine if we studied the late night body clock games for East Coast teams going west, it could be more debilitating than having a noon kick. USC having a 9 a.m. body clock kick versus what's happening here. So. Yeah, I'm with you. I think we lay it. I also think USC is one of these teams where, sure, maybe they should be 25th, or maybe you should watch them play. Would you believe it if they were the number one team EPA per play? I mean, their advanced numbers are very, very good, and I don't think this is a matchup where they're going to get
a little Spartan on Spartan crime. USC fight on, lay it.
Well, Trojans, but. Then they're the people of Troy versus the Spartans.
All right, time for the lock, dog, tease, and bonus lock.
Happy birthday.
Brought to you by mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We also have, besides our lock, dog, tease, and bonus lock, our maybe toss out a parlay, our contest plays. Got a lot to get to. Kramer, what do you got?
Trojans and Spartans were not the same. They were opposing factions. So
similar idea though.
You may have really offended people here.
Okay. Apologies to the city of Troy.
Yeah. Spartans were from the mainland.
Okay.
Come on. I mean,
way off.
You got to be careful. You never know who could be listening. Very offensive talk. All right. So many games we have to scroll back up to the top. I'm going to lock up Utah at Rice Eccles. I think I'll take a bet on them and their offensive line against that defensive line. Second lock. I think a little worried about Michigan just being able to run the ball, but the scene in Nebraska should be enough. And Matt Rule, one-dimensional offense. You should be able to figure that one out. And then Kansas laying the 13. Very obvious time to fade West Virginia. Also, just want to keep riding the Jalen Daniels train. Dog. Washington State would be pretty fun, but let's go with Illinois plus 175. Tease. BYU -1.
Good tease, Ryan.
Oklahoma -0.5.
Good tease.
And let's take Arizona State up to 8.5.
Ooh, great tease. Key numbers. Look out.
And I will propose, because it seems like there's at least a fighting chance. But I am going to propose that we put Illinois with something that you guys like. I have some options, but I'll wait till you throw out your locks.
Lock number 1. Give me Oklahoma -6.5 at home. Think that's a nice spot for them.
I was scared to pull the trigger there.
My other lock, give me TCU -7. Revenge aspect, like that angle. Last but not least, let's see here. We got. I like the Kansas play. I like Utah. A lot of agreement. I'll go. Go. Man, I really want that. Yeah, I'll go Utah -3. All favorite locks for my dog. Give me Nebraska on the money line. It's a little yapper, but I like the spot there. See, Kramer, Colby, what do you got, Colby? Oh wait, my tease. Sorry, I got a million things going on. For my tease, give me Miami down to 1.5. Give me USC down to 10.5, and give me Illinois up to 11.5. And actually, you know what? Nebraska's too small. Give me the East Carolina Pirates on the money line.
Going against my tease, not smart.
Colby, what do you got?
Slappy, Samsonite. I was way off. This is just. There's a lot of opportunity out there.
I know,
folks.
too many.
3 locks, right? 3 locks. Because I got 4 that are just.
Oh wow!
There. If you dial 1-800 pick Dundee, if you dial 1-800 pick Dundee, we will give away that as part of the Blue Plate special. But we're gonna go with Kansas first off.
Yeah.
Kansas lock. Smash. TCU lock.
Yes.
Iowa Hawkeyes lock.
Ooh. Okay.
The dog is. Those Mormons aren't going to know what hit them when they go to G Vegas. All right. Then the tease is.
I am an East Carolina fan.
Wazoo plus 26.5.
A good tease.
Illini plus 11.5.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Iowa plus 3.5. They lose. They never lose by more than 3.
Tease them through 0, but college doesn't matter. All right, like that tease. Do we want to do? What do we want to do with the parlay? We want to do Illinois money line.
Yes.
Anything? Nebraska money line. I feel like we all like that. Do we toss in some favorites? Colby, what do you? Or Illinois, Arizona State. That's kind of fun.
Baylor's gonna just screw us over though. We should be all careful with that one.
Illinois, ECU. Oh wait, Kramer's on
Illinois. Nebraska's fun. Illinois,
Tulsa.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Illinois,
good call.
Tulsa on the money line. That's going to be a nice juicy parlay. All right, time for a contest. Coming off a nice. I was trying to find where we're at, but I think we're in decent shape.
I have where we're at. Whoa, sorry. The
someone's virtual doorbell ring.
That was the Westgate support. I was on their site too long downloading the standings, but yeah, we are 12-8-1.
All right, sorry, real quick. We got an update on Moneyline Mac. He likes West Virginia plus 400 on the money line. Packed for 3 days, and here we are on day 6 in the West. By God, time to hit the fishbowl for happy hour.
He's living the life. I mean, there is a point.
It's back to school.
There was a point in time in my life where I was potentially going to be working a remote job, and I was like, well, what if I just went back to Blacksburg for football season? That's kind of what Mac's at right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set the over under that he's there for the rest of the season.
Let's go.
And then basketball season starts, and then he might I mean, rent's got to be pretty cheap.
No, yeah.
And he's going to the fishbowl. You know,
The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
Now, I wish I could go back to West Virginia and like modern day retrace my steps on the chicken tournament where an entire field was sprayed with pepper. Again, if you've never been sprayed by a Morgantown cop with pepper spray, you haven't been to Morgantown. Anyway, we are 12-8-1 in the contest. We've yet to have a losing week.
Nice.
We've gone 4-3, 3-3-1, and 5-2. We are ahead of Mac in the box for those who are wondering. They started off very hot.
Very hot. A lot of smack talk.
Already falling down. First place is 17-3-1. Second place is 16-5. So we are only a couple points back.
Nice. Let's get it.
And yeah, I think the key will be to continue to stack wins. Unfortunately, I see some names near the top that we want to definitely defeat. Rhymes with Hezek.
He dominates these contests.
There's also someone in second place called Huskies and Cougs. Big week for them. And Sean, we're going against the Syndicate.
Oh, look
the
at
Syndicate currently in second place. So we got to take them down.
Kramer, first lock your selection.
Utah. Come on.
I like that.
Yeah. Easy.
the Syndicate.
All I know is we're hard-working, tax-paying people like you, and we don't take shit from nobody. You got that, asshole? Ask me. The fucking union that works for you.
Utah -3. Kramer picked. I'll go Oklahoma -6.5. Colby, what do you like?
So what? Utah, Oklahoma. Let's go to the likes of Kansas.
Kansas -13. Kramer, second pick.
So by lock, it would be Nebraska, but I do also like Illinois. Give me Illinois plus the points.
Illinois +5.5.
I like that. The points there is what made it a more attractive contest play.
TCU -7 is my second play. Colby, what do you got?
I mean, it's most certainly going to be the East Carolina Pirates +7, guys.
I don't know why.
That or Iowa. I'll let you guys choose.
No. It's your pick.
Okay.
East Carolina.
Smash.
That's how the contests work. We can't all necessarily agree.
Okay, so we have so we got 6 picks. We need one more consensus pick. Consensus plays. We like USC. We like Arizona. We like Wazoo. We like South Carolina.
Wazoo.
I feel like Wazoo for the spirit of the show would be my play.
Yeah. And I think I have a feeling maybe we get a 21 in the contest too.
So yes, we'll see what we update the contest numbers on the sheet. If you're a part of the Patreon, you get access to the sheets. Of course, we do have free picks on the site and the SGPN app. But our contest plays are Utah -3, Oklahoma -6.5, Kansas -13, Illinois +5.5, TCU -7, ECU +7, Washington State +20.5. Don't let us have a day. Good times as always. Promo code football, 25% off everything in the merch store. Look at these sweet DGen hats with and without the ropes. Make sure you check out Colby Dant over on the College Football Experience.
Ropes. You're making me think of that "Don't bully me, I'll come" hat.
Oh well, that
different
hat
kind of
got
rope.
lost. We'll have to find that one.
By the way, shout out to everyone who's sending me DMs of other "Don't bully me, I'll come" merch. There are shirts out there. There's even those flags that you can put outside your house.
Oh, okay. Well,
imagine your neighbor had a "Don't bully me, I'll come" flag.
I'm sure my wife will love put one of those flags in the front yard. Hey,
it's very progressive, honey.
When we return, Kramer and I will be talking Week 3 NFL picks, and of course, as always,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean. Second the money green. He's Ryan.
We are in the top 15%, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride.
Long.